Radhe Krishna to all. We have seen a little bit of setting the scene. Let us move forward. Duryodhan. Yet the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially the eldest Duryodhan, hated and envied Pandavas, and the blind and weak-minded Dhritarashtra, his father, wanted his own sons, not those of Pandu, to inherit the kingdom. Thus, Duryodhan, with Dhritarashtra's consent, plotted to kill the young sons of Pandu, and it was only by the careful protection of their uncle Vidur and their cousin Lord Krishna that Pandavas escaped the many attempts against their lives. Now, Lord Krishna was not an ordinary man, but the supreme Godhead himself, who has descended to earth and was playing the role of a prince in a contemporary dynasty. In this role, he was also the nephew of Pandu's wife Kunti or Pritha, the mother of Pandavas. So, both as relative and as the eternal upholder of religion, Krishna favored the righteous sons of Pandu and protected them. Ultimately, however, the clever Duryodhan challenged the Pandavas to a gambling match. In the course of that fateful tournament, Duryodhan and his brothers took possession of Draupadi, the chaste and devoted wife of Pandavas, and insultingly tried to strip her naked before the entire assembly of princes and kings. Krishna's divine intervention saved her, but the gambling, which was rigged, cheated the Pandavas of their kingdom and forced them into 13 years of exile. Upon returning from exile, the Pandavas rightfully requested their kingdom from Duryodhan, who bluntly refused to yield it. Duty bound as princes to serve in public administration, the five Pandavas reduced their request to mere 5 villages. But Duryodhan arrogantly replied that he would not spare them enough land into which to drive up in. Throughout all this, the Pandavas had been consistently tolerant and forbearing, but now war was seemed inevitable. Nonetheless, as the princes of the world divided, some siding with the son of Dhritarashtra, others with the Pandavas, Krishna himself took the role of messenger for the sons of Pandu and went to the court of Dhritarashtra to plead for peace. When his pleas were refused, war was now certain. The Pandavas, men of the highest moral stature, recognized Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead, whereas the impious sons of Dhritarashtra did not. Yet Krishna offered to enter the war according to the desire of the antagonists. As God, he would not personally fight, but whosoever so desired might avail himself of Krishna's army, and the other side could have Krishna himself as an advisor and helper. Duryodhan, the political genius, snatched at Krishna's armed forces, while the Pandavas were equally eager to have Krishna himself. In this way, Krishna became the charioteer of Arjun, taking it upon himself to drive the fabled bowman's chariot. This brings us to the point at which Bhagwat Gita begins with the two armies arrayed, ready for combat, and Dhritarashtra anxiously inquiring of his secretary Sanjay, what did they do? The scene is set with only the need for a brief note regarding this translation and commentary. The general pattern translators have followed in rendering Bhagavad Gita into English has been to brush aside the person Krishna to make room for their own concepts and philosophies. The history of Mahabharata is taken as quaint mythology, and Krishna becomes a poetic device for presenting the ideas of some anonymous genius, or at best he becomes a minor historical personage. But the person Krishna is both the goal and the substance of Bhagavad Gita so far as the Gita speaks of itself. This translation then and the commentary that accompanies it propose to direct the reader to Krishna rather than away from him. The Bhagavad Gita thus becomes wholly consistent and comprehensible. Since Krishna is the speaker of Gita and its ultimate goal as well. Bhagavad Gita as it is presents this great scripture in its true terms. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna. We will be seeing preface in our next video. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna.